Warning. Actonville TV disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the host, authors, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any religious affiliation.
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swamiye Saranamayappa. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. For those of you just joining us, we just opened up live and we are streaming live in the nation south on Actonville TV. This is the Journey Show. It's all about exploring Hinduism as a whole. I'm your host Kimera, Heeralal, taking you through a full hour of spiritual upliftment and education. If you want to interact with us in studio today, please do so by commenting at the bottom of the screen right there in the comment section. Or if you wish to keep your views, comments and beliefs anonymous, you're welcome to do so by using our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen throughout the entire show. Well, today is episode 133, that's 133, and well, the topic at hand this evening is, do Hindus actually eat meat? Interesting conversation and a very educational one as well. Interact with us in studio today as we just have Nishi Heeralal coming in through YouTube with lots of love. Good evening, Kimera. Namaste. Good evening to you too, Nishi. Today's topic at hand is, do Hindus eat meat? Interact with us in studio today, Nishi, if you're willing to. If you want to, you don't have to, but your views, comments and beliefs are helpful as this is an educational platform. Now, as you know, in Hinduism, I must share with you that whether it comes to our TV show or a Hindu ritual of prayer, we must give praise and thanks to Lord Ganesha first before we begin anything. So, helping us open up the show this evening, we have a Praveen Mudli as he will perform for you a Ganesha medley.
சரணம் சாயீஷா ஓ ஜெய் ஜெய் சரணம் சாயீஷா ஓ சரணம் சாயீஷா சாயீஷா சரணம் சரணம் சாயீஷா சாயீஷா சரணம் சரணம் சாயீஷா ஓ சாயீஷா சரணம் சரணம் சாயீஷா சாயீஷா சரணம் சாயீஷா ஓ இங்கே வா வா கணபதி கணபதி நீயே சரணாகதி இங்கே வா வா கணபதி கணபதி நீயே சரணாகதி ஓ இங்கே வா வா கணபதி கணபதி நீயே சரணாகதி இங்கே வா வா கணபதி கணபதி நீயே சரணாகதி தேவா கரிமுகத்தி ராஜா திருந்தோன்றி பாபா வரமருளவே 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 வேணும் அடியவர்க்கு வேணும் பரமருள வேணும் எனவிருக்கும் பூஜையானது தேவா கரிமுகத்தி ராஜா திருந்தோன்றி பாபா பரமருளவே தேவா கரிமுகத்தி ராஜா திருந்தோன்றி பாபா பரமருளவே ஓடி வா கணபதி கணபதி நீயே சரணாகதி
Jai Ganesha, what a beautiful way to open up our show this evening with Praveen Midley as he praises Lord Ganesha with the Ganesha medley. Guys, we are talking about something very interesting today, and the topic at hand today is, do Hindus eat meat? I think the diet in Hinduism is quite interesting. It's quite uplifting, and there's a lot to learn when it comes to your diet on a spiritual path. So before we get started, a quick lineup for you guys. We have Shashi Gasain joining us on our screens today, as she's all the way in London, and she will be educating you on the benefits to not eating meat. Are there any benefits to not eating meat? Also, she'll be discussing with you guys which religions don't eat meat, probably why. Also, in between, we'll spiritually uplift you with lots of music, bhajans, and entertainment. And not forgetting, when we get towards the end of our show, we must teach you one principle from the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural. Every day we teach you one lesson, and hoping that people take this lesson home with them or live by them. We also might help you and assist you with any services that you might need that needs to perform by a qualified guru. We have those people in store for you towards the end of the show. If this is your first time watching, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it already. And as we are a growing channel and station, we'd love for you to help us with it. Click on the share button, it helps. Alright, we got Devon Naidu coming in through YouTube. Namaskaram to you too, sir. Thank you for joining the show. It's such an honor. It's always nice to see your name hitting our screens. Thank you so much for that, Devon. Alright, so let's take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we will continue with our educational teachings about, well, do Hindus eat meat? The diet in Hinduism. We'll come back straight after this.
See flooring differently. Innova Floor Santam. Contact us today.
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sayanam, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saralamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, so let's get straight into it. You know you're currently live in Lanesia South. This is Actonville TV, and the show you're watching is called The Journey Exploring Hinduism. Alright, so let's talk a bit about the diet in Hinduism, right? I mean, we all want to know. A lot of people have been sending us funny questions, strange questions, but I won't say it's silly. Let's just say we're all learning. We all want to learn. So a question that has been hit more than once and by different people is, do Hindus actually eat meat? Because a lot of people have come across me and they're like, listen, you eat chicken. I've met people who are eating meat as well, and they are Hindus. So let's talk about that a little bit. So let's talk about the diet in Hinduism, right? Quick one. Now, the diet in Hinduism actually signifies the diverse traditions found across the Indian subcontinent. But we're going to talk about this as a whole, right? So the Hindu scriptures actually promote a vegetarian dietary ideal based on the concept of ahimsa. And that means like your non-violence and compassion towards all beings, living beings. So according to Pew Research and Research Center survey, they say 44% of Hindus say that they are vegetarian. So if you look at the history by say first millennium BCE, right? All three major Indian religions, such as, which are named Hinduism, Jainism and Buddhism, right? They were championing non-violence as an ethical value and something that affects one's rebirth. So by about 200 CE, they say food and feasting on animal slaughter were widely considered as a form of violence against life forms and became a religious and social taboo. Now, excuse me, Ralph Fitch, a merchant from London and one of the earliest English travelers to India, wrote a letter home in, well, the year 1580, stating this. He says, they have a very strong order among them. They worship a cow and esteem much of the cow's dung to paint the walls of their houses. They also eat no flesh, but live by their roots and rice and milk. Now, standing by to educate you this evening on our topic at hand, which is do Hindus actually eat meat? Here is Shashi Gusain teaching you and educating you about, are there any benefits to not eating meat, and which religions do not eat meat?
Namaste, I'm Shashi Gusain. Now there's one question that's been asked umpteen times, and that is, are Hindus forbidden to eat meat? Good question, and a very good answer coming up. Well, if you look at Hinduism, it's over 5,000 years old, with not a single founder or a single text. And it became a way of life over thousands of years. But what Hinduism teaches us, that we have to make our own decisions in life. What we want to wear, what we want to eat, what we want to think. And there's nobody telling us that we have to do something. It's our own decisions. And it gives us an opportunity to dwell in ourselves and actually look at the nature and take from it what we think is good for us. So indeed, you might even find within a family, some members are vegetarians and some are very strictly non-vegetarians. For example, in my own house, my husband is strictly non-vegetarian and I prefer to stay vegetarian. And contrary to beliefs, most of Hindus are non-vegetarian. There's 60% of Hindus in India who eat meat, fish or eggs. So it's not something whether you eat or not, it's very much, whether Hindus eat or not is very much a personal choice. But the cow is still considered very sacred, and even those who eat meat do refrain from eating beef. So that is a bit of a no-no. Other than that, it's entirely up to you. There was a lot of Islamic influence in North India because of all the invasions that came from there. So a lot of the North Indians tend to eat meat, A, because of Islamic. Secondly, it was much colder climate. But you'll find more vegetarians in South India, and there are certain cities, for example, I went to Rameshwaram, where there is absolutely no meat in the whole city. It's just a sacred city where no meat is allowed in any shape or form. But when you cross Rameshwaram, there's all these fish markets and you can get more vegetarian food. So a bit of a dichotomy throughout India, but in general form, the general consensus is up to you. And Hinduism, we believe in Bhagavad Gita, and in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says there are 3 types of food. So one is called sattvic food, which is simple food, natural food, vegetables, fruits, milk, nuts, grains, and that keeps your body healthy, your mind very calm, peaceful. And this is something that the people who do yoga or the priests, they tend to form the sattvic diet. The next one is called Rajasic diet, and these are what we call foods of passion. They are foods which are then cooked. So you'll eat, you'll add oil, you'll fry them, you'll add all the chilies and all the whatever makes any food tastier than just the natural food. And this, they say, energizes the navel chakra. But when you include all this, it also increases your desire for material things in life. It leads to a bit of restlessness. You just want better of everything. And even in medicine, it's proven that people who have excess oil or sugars leads to hypersensitivity, hyperactivity. So this has been put down even in our scriptures, that Rajasic food do create a little bit of mental imbalance by having too much of a good thing. But that's personal choice. The last one is called Tamasic food. Now, Tamasic food is something that's considered it's harmful to the mind and body, and that includes alcohol, preserved food, and meat. And it's meant to increase our anger and intolerance, but they're needed in times of stress, for example, in war. So you'll find all the soldiers used to eat meat because that just gave them the adrenaline and the energy to go and fight. So but over a long period of time, even in the West, it's been considered that it gives you great side effects when you drink too much alcohol or eat too much meat. And it's even been found that the incidence of cancer goes up significantly for people who eat too much meat, purely because humans were meant to be omnivores. That means we were meant to be eating a bit of meat and a lot of vegetables. and it was carnivores who just ate meat. So our bodies are not designed to digest that kind of protein and that kind of quantity and the frequency that one has. So this was, again, as I said, laid out in our scriptures long time ago. The main thing is the Vedas were promoting respecting all forms of life, all plants, all animals, because we believe that all living creatures have a soul in them. You'll find even animals, you become affectionate to them, they become affectionate to you because they feel emotion, they feel the love, they feel everything that we humans do. And so Hinduism promotes what we call ahimsa, which is a concept of complete non-violence, not only to other human beings, but all types of life, including animals. And it says that in order to have inner peace, one must refrain from injuring all animals, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, or in any way deprive them of anything. In Hinduism, there's a saying that says, Jaisa an, vaisa man, meaning whatever you eat, what food you eat is you, it becomes you. So we know that animals have emotional feelings, and so can you imagine when they are put into these cages in albatross, the feelings they must be going through, whether it is fear and hatred and just the cruelty of it must be getting to them, and what are humans doing to them. And then when it's actually killed, you don't even want to think what the animal must be going through, that the humans are killing them. And then this piece of meat is put on your plates and say, it's good for you, eat it, it's protein, do this. But look at the psychological aspect of eating meat. And this is something that a lot of Hindus take in regard, those who are vegetarians, feel that that's not the right way of taking nutrition, and look at alternative means. Having said that, there are, as we said, there are reasons one has to eat meat, just so as to be able to fight all the atrocities and anything else that comes in life, including severity of weather. So it's not that we condone that. It's up to you whether you want to do it. But one does know the cruelty and the in the slaughterhouses and what it does to animals, and that is, I think, one reason where humans have made a decision. And you can see so many films on YouTube these days of what actually happens there and what's happening in the food industry. And this has shown that if the diet is pure, then the heart and mind is pure. People are using a lot more yoga to get in tune with their bodies, and this has taken off in the West in such a big way. And now even in the West, there's such a huge surge of people who are vegans and vegetarians, purely because they can see the difference this makes, not only to them but to the environment, and especially when they start connecting with all the souls, all the living creatures on this earth. And that's the reason why Hindus don't eat meat, is that they don't eat meat, they do eat meat. We have complete choice. There's no one, even my mother will not tell me whether I should eat meat or not. It's my choice. In my own family, half the members are vegetarian, half are non-vegetarian, and so be it, it's their choice. But there are reasons for every type of food. And so even when we're fasting, or we have any auspicious occasions, including weddings, or when a child is born, we tend to have a complete vegetarian diet. And that is that we just want to keep everything pure, and purity of mind, thought, and a complete balance in this universe. So I hope that answers the questions. Do Hindus eat meat? Are they allowed to eat meat? Are they forbidden to eat meat? No, we have a choice. And that's what makes Hinduism so unique. No one to tell us what we should or should not do. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to that snippet of our fascinating religion. Shashi Gosai. Thank you.
Shashi Gosai, ladies and gentlemen, all the way in India, educating us all the way, all the way in London. My mistake, I'm saying all the way in India. Please forgive me for that. Shashi Gosai, all the way in London, as she educated us about Hindus eating meat is a choice. And remember, she just explained to you, she just taught you about the benefits to not eating meat, as well as religious reasons behind it. Hope you guys learned something new today. We have Nishi Heeralal coming in through YouTube as she shares with us her visit to the north of India. She noticed all in Rajasthan eat only vegetable. Wow, thanks for that. She also continues to say that I actually found that there was no meat except for a KFC. Chicken. Yeah, they do eat chicken. Yeah, well, thank you so much for helping us out there, Nishi Heeralal, as you have been to India and can share with us your experience and your knowledge. Well, as we're talking about do Hindus eat meat? I'd love for you guys to join the conversation. Devanaidu, if you are there, share your beliefs, share what you know about staying away from meat, or why people should actually not eat meat or do eat meat. As I know my personal beliefs and what I was taught since I've been on the spiritual path, I've learned that when you eat meat, when you put meat into your body, you are putting certain energies into your body, and thus it will not be accepted in the house of God, in a temple. So, you know, especially when you're going towards the Samis, the deities, the murtis, should we call it, the statues in English, you are going towards the murti with different energies, as it's there. They believe it's not pure because you are eating a living being, which they, in Hinduism, they feel you should not be doing. So this is the reason why I actually abstain from meat when going to temple or to a prayer. I'll actually cleanse on that day. You'll notice I'll have some cereal in the morning, or maybe I'll have a toasted cheese sandwich, you know, just to respect the culture, to respect the fact that I am a Hindu. And that's what I do. I've been taught that when you induce meat, you're inducing different types of energies as well, and you could disrupt other energies when entering the temple. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will educate you a little bit further as we are talking about Hindus. Do they eat meat? Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swami, Saranamayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, as we continue our show, do Hindus eat meat? Interact with us in studio today, as I'd love for you to, well, share your views, your comments and beliefs. This is a public platform, guys. It's an educational public platform. I would love for you guys to join the conversation. Don't be shy, don't be scared. This is not a platform for fighting. It's all about sharing your wisdom, sharing your beliefs. And well, whoever's viewing it will learn from this educational platform. Comment in the comment section at the bottom of the screen, or if you wish to keep yourself anonymous, you're welcome to use our WhatsApp line, which you'll find at the bottom right of your screen throughout the entire show. Okay, so we just finished off with Shashi Gasain before we cut to commercial, and Shashi Gasain, all the way in London, has shared with us the benefits to not eating meat and stuff like that. Also, she mentioned which religions don't eat meat, which is good. Now, I'd like to move on to the diet in Hinduism, and it's coming from the scriptures, the texts, everything that we say we learn from, and where we got our beliefs and our wisdom. It's from the Hindu scripts, right? So I've got a bit of a note here. Noted NB. It says vegetarianism is in ancient India, right? And they say that in that country they do not keep pigs and fowls and do not sell live cattle in the markets. There are no butcher shops and no dealers in intoxicating drink. This was sent to us by Fexian from the Chinese pilgrim, wow, to India. This is nice. It's documented on the 4th and 5th century CE. Not sure how true it is. Nishi Heeralal, if you're still there, share with us if you know if this is true. There are no butchers in India. I'd like to know the truth about that. Okay, so looking at the scriptures and the text, right? You know that we've talked about the Vedas and the Upanishads, and we also teach from the Tirukkural every single day. But now we are on the note of, do Hindus actually eat meat? Right. So let's talk about the diet in Hinduism. Now, if you look at the Vedas, right? Evidence from the Vedas actually suggests that the diet of the Vedic people consisted of cereals. Now, initially barley, but later dominated by rice, pulses such as marsha, meaning urad, magda, mung, and musura, masur. Vegetables such as lotus roots, lotus stem, bottle gourd, and milk products, mainly of cows, but also of buffaloes and goats. The Vedas actually describe that animals including bulls, horses, rams, and goats being sacrificed and eaten. Although cows held in elevated position in the Vedas, barren cows were also sacrificed. Even then, the word agnya, not to be eaten, inviolable, is also used for cows multiple times, but with some Rig Vedic composers considering the whole bovine species, both cows and bulls, inviolable. Now, if you look at what Stephen J. Ronson suggests, that meat only have been eaten as part of ritual sacrifices and not otherwise. Now, and acts of animal sacrifice were not fully accepted, as there were signs of unease and tension owing to the gory brutality of sacrificial butchery, dating back to as early as the older Vedas. Now, the earliest reference to the idea of ahimsa, or non-violence, if you want to say it in English, to animals, as they call it, the pashu ahimsa, in any literature, apparently in a moral sense, is found in the Kapistala Katha Samhita of the Yajurveda. And this was actually written about the 8th century BCE. It's called the Kaps 31.11. Now, the Shatapatha Brahmana contains one of the earliest statements against meat eating, and the Chandogya Upanishad has an injunction against killing all living entities. Injunctions against meat eating also appears in the Dharma Shastra. Now, before we move on to the Dharma Shastra, let's get ourselves spiritually uplifted as we are discussing and educating everyone about Hindus being meat eaters. Coming up next, we have Vijay Ramkisun from Spain with the Devi Bhajan.
ओ जगदम्बे है माँ शेरावाली, तू घर चली आई रे। हाथ जोड़े हम विनती सुनो रे, तुझे महाकाली रे। ओ जगदम्बे है माँ शेरावाली, तू घर चली आई रे। हाथ जोड़े हम विनती सुनो रे, तुझे महाकाली रे। हो जगदम्बे है माँ शेरावाली, तू घर चली आई रे। तो पे मुस्कान अपने सजाई, भक्ति की गंगा में हम बहते जाई। बरसे गगन से अमृत के धारे, जगदम्बे के हम सुन ले पुकारे, सुन ले पुकारे। हाथ जोड़े हम विनती सुनो रे, तुझे महाकाली रे। हो जगदम्बे है माशना वाली तू घर चली आई रे साहित्य रस पाना सरसा उलासनी कवि जन भूषणी कामा विलोचनी ना चाहिए तेरी हीरा मोती जगदम्बिके तू सारा ज्योति हाथ जोड़े हम विनती सुनो रे तुझे महाकाली रे हो जगदम्बे है माँ शेरा वाली तू घर चली आई रे हाथ जोड़े हम विनती सुनो रे तुझे महाकाली रे वो जगदम्बे है माँ शेरा वाली तू घर चली आई रे जगदम्बे अन्नता वाली भिना वाली इंद्रपूर्णी ज्योता वाली अन्नपूर्णा माँ जगदम्बे कहते कहते चल ओ डुम 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 दुर्गा लम 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 ललिता डुम 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 दुर्गा लम 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 ललिता जगदम्बे हे माता शेरवाली 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 माँ हे माँ जगदम्बे माँ हे माँ जगदम्बे माँ हे माता शेरवाली शेरवाली लतावाली माँ हे माँ जगदम्बे माँ हे माँ जगदम्बे माँ हे
Om Shakti, Parashakti, a beautiful delivery all the way in Spain, as you just witnessed Vijay Ramkissoon performing for you. Well, a Devi Bhajan as he praises our Devis. Alright, so we're talking about, do Hindus eat meat, ladies and gentlemen? Interact with us in studio today. Don't be scared, don't be shy. Share your views, your comments, even a simple Vanakkam or Namaste or Namaskaram will do. It's fine. Interact with us in studio today, as I see there are a lot of viewers coming in through Facebook. Lots of Facebook viewers. I'm trying to traffic you guys to our YouTube channel to lift the viewership and the numbers up. Okay, so let's get into talking about the diet in Hindu scriptures and texts. So we just completed, well, a quick summary of the Vedas, right? So you have a bit of an understanding of the scriptures. So for those of you who are following the Dharma Shastras, right? Now, according to Cain, one who is about to eat, food, should greet the food when it is served to him, right? Should honor it, never speak ill, and never find fault in it. Now, the Dharma Shastra literature states that Patrick Olivelle admonishes people not to cook for themselves alone. Offer it to the gods, to the forefathers, to fellow human beings as hospitality, and as aims to the monks and the needy. So it has a bit of a point there. Olivelle claims that all living beings are interdependent in matters of food, and thus food must be respected, worshipped, and taken with care. Olivelle states that the Shastras recommend that when a person sees food, he should fold his hands, bow to it, and say a prayer of thanks, right? Now the reference, or the reverence rather, for food reaches a state of extreme in the renouncer or monk traditions in Hinduism. The Hindu tradition views procurement and preparation of food is necessarily a violent process, where other life forms and nature are disturbed, in part destroyed, changed, and reformulated into something edible and palatable. The mendicants, right, also known as the ascetics, or ascetics as I say, they also call it the sannyasin. The mendicants actually avoid being the initiator of this process, and therefore depend entirely on begging for food that is left over of householders. In pursuit of their spiritual beliefs, as states Olivel, the mendicants eat other people's leftovers if they cannot find leftovers. They seek fallen fruit or seeds left in the fields after their harvest. And the forest hermits of Hinduism, on the other hand, do not beg for leftovers. Their food is wild and uncultivated. Their diet would consist of mainly fruits, roots, leaves, and anything that grows naturally in the forest. They avoided stepping on plowed land lest they hurt a seedling. They attempted to live a life that minimizes, preferably eliminates, the possibility of harm to any life form. Now, before we continue with the Manusmriti, as well as my favorite, my personal favorite, the Mahabharatas and the Tirukural, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue.
Get legendary Edward Reddy's music, now available on all music platforms like iTunes, Spotify, and more.
Welcome back, guys. Vanakkam, namaste, namaskaram, salam, jai Shri Ram, Swami Sanamayappa. Now, as we're continuing our talk, our discussion on do Hindus eat meat, and we're talking about the scriptures, interact with us in studio today. If you have your own views, if you have your own beliefs and wisdom that you'd like to share with us on this educational platform, I would appreciate if you interact with me in studio. All right, so we just finished the Dharma Shastras, right? And I did say that we will continue with the Manusmritis. Now, the Manusmriti discusses the diet in chapter 5, for those of you who are following these books or these texts or these scriptures. And in this Manusmriti, they say that they were like other Hindu texts. You know, it includes all the verses and the strongly discouraged how eating meat should not be allowed, and also as well as the verses where meat eating is declared appropriate in times of adversity and various circumstances, recommending that the meat in such circumstances be produced with minimal harm and suffering to the animal. Now, there are verses that talk about this, which is 5.48 and 5.52 of the Manusmriti. It explains the reason for avoiding meat. Okay, here's a piece of it as follows. So they say one can never obtain meat without causing injury to living beings. He should therefore abstain from meat, reflecting on how meat is obtained and how embodied creatures are tied up and killed. He should quit eating any kind of meat. The man who authorizes, the man who butchers, the man who slaughters, the man who buys or sells, the man who cooks, the man who serves, and the man who eats, these are all killers. Now, there is no greater sinner than a man who, outside of an offering to the gods or ancestors, wants to make his own flesh thrive at the expense of someone else's. This is in the Manusmriti 5.48 to 5.52, translated by Patrick Olivel. Thank you so much for that. So it's quite interesting how these texts, how these scriptures tell you that meat is allowed or appreciated in some rituals and offerings only to the gods. But it's quite complicated. But if you join our shows every time, we will educate you on that it is okay to be a meat eater in Hinduism under the following circumstance. Okay, so we have the Mahabharata now. Let's talk about that scripture. We talk about this Mahabharata all the time. We mention it whenever we are teaching. So in the Mahabharata, right, the Mahabharata contains numerous stories glorifying non-violence towards animals and has some of the strongest statements against slaughter of animals. There's 3 chapters of the epic, and it is dedicated to the evils of meat eating. That's what they call it, evils. So Bhishma declares compassion to be the highest religious principle and compares eating of animal flesh to eating the flesh of one's son. Nominally acknowledging Manu's authorization of meat eating in a sacrificial context, Bhishma explains to Yudhishthira that one who obtains from doing so acquires the same merit as that accrued from the performance of even a horse sacrifice, and that those desirous of heaven perform sacrifice with seeds instead of animals. It is actually stated in the Mahabharata that animal sacrifices were introduced only when people began to resort to violence in the Treta Yuga. The less pure, or should I say a less pure and compassionate age, and were not present in the Satya Yuga, the golden age. So quite interesting that human beings brought this into practice. Human beings introduced meat eating. It wasn't a part of the scriptures at one stage, as I'm discussing this piece from the Mahabharata. So it's quite interesting how each book, each text, each scripture is teaching us a different thing, but this was all in different times. Let's take a look at the Tirukkural, ladies and gentlemen. Quite interesting, which we've never ever gone into depth with. Quite beautiful, quite ancient, as some of the values and some of the teachings in the Tirukkural might upset females, women of this day and age. As in the Tirukkural, it teaches you that women have their place. And nowadays, us women are fighting for equality and, for our choice in life. We do not only belong in the kitchen. We do not only belong as a mother. We have equal rights as men. But the Tirukkural teaches you other things. Okay. So let's look at the Tirukkural in any case, because as we follow the values from there every day, and we teach you one value from the Tirukkural every day on the show. So the Tirukkural is another ancient Indian text, right? And the Tirukkural, originally written in the South Indian language of Tamil, states moderate diet as a virtuous lifestyle and criticizes non-vegetarianism in its Pulan Marutal, meaning the abstinence from flesh or meat. This is chapters through verses 251 through 260. And verses 251, for instance, questions how can one be possessed of kindness who to insist his own flesh eats the flesh of other creatures. It also says that the wise who are devoid of mental delusions do not eat the savored body of other creatures. This is in verse 258. Suggesting that the flesh is nothing but the despicable wound of a mangled body. This is verse 257. It continues to say that not eating meat is a practice more sacred than the most sacred religious practices ever known. Verse 259. And that only those who refrain from killing and eating the kill are worthy of veneration. Verse 260. This text was actually written before 400 CE, ladies and gentlemen. And it's sometimes called the Tamil Veda. Discusses eating habits. It discusses basically all of your eating habits and its role in a healthy life, known as Mitara. Dedicating chapter 95 of book 2 to it, the Tirukkural states in verses 943 through to 945, eat in moderation. When you feel hungry, foods that are agreeable to your body. Refraining from foods that your body finds disagreeable. Valuva also emphasizes overeating has its ill effects on your health. This is in verse 946, as the pleasures of health abide in the man who eats moderately. The pains of disease dwell with him who eats excessively. Coming up next, as we're educating you on our texts, on our scripts, on the diet of Hinduism, as we discuss the diet in Hindu scriptures and their texts. We'll have to continue after this special bhajan and this beautiful praise as we're praising Lord Shiva in this bhajan. Helping us do that this evening is Praveen Murli. Hari Hari Mahadev! What a beautiful delivery from Praveen Mudi and his band. As you just saw a little snippet from the Siva Samaj concert that the whole Actonville TV team attended. It was beautiful to be there. And a very big shout out to Praveen Mudi and all his fans, as I know he has quite a big following. So yes, we thank you Praveen Mudi for letting us share your music on our show. And well, thank you for that. Now, as we were discussing contemporary, or should we say Hindus eating meat, we spoke about the scriptures. I'm not going to go too in depth with the scriptures. I don't want to get too boring with our teachings. But what I want to share with you guys is the Hindu diet. There's something called the lacto-vegetarian diet, and as well as a non-vegetarian diet. There's also many things that we could go into with, they're calling it the prasadam. You know, when you give prasadam and they tell you different ways of offerings in Hinduism, it's nice to learn the meanings behind all of these things. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with a little short explanation of each, and therefore we'll end off thereafter we will end off our show with the value system, as we got our principles from the Thirukurul every day, as well as a guru to perform certain services obviously that you can't do on your own. We'll come back straight after this.
See flooring differently. Innovar Floor Santam. Contact us today.
Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Sannavayappa. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, there's love coming in through YouTube as we have Novita Ashok with Namaste. Namaste, dear. Welcome to the show. It's so nice to have newcomers. Novita, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it already. And also, if you have some time, well, hit that share button as we are a growing channel. Alright, so as we're educating everybody on this is the Journey Show. It's exploring Hinduism. And today's topic at hand, do Hindus eat meat? Quite an interesting conversation, and you missed quite a beautiful show. If you did miss the show and you're just joining us this evening, welcome. But do click on this link a little bit later, as you can watch the entire show from the beginning and learn about do Hindus eat meat. Okay, so I want to talk about the quick contemporary diet in the Hindu diet quickly, right? Now, if you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, there's something called a lacto-vegetarian diet, right? Basically, it's vegetarianism, right? It's basically a dietary ideal among many Hindus. It's based basically on the concept of ahimsa, meaning non-violence and compassion towards all living beings. And it is also considered sattvic, that is basically purifying the body and mind lifestyle in some Hindu texts, right? And lacto-vegetarianism is favored by many Hindus, which includes your milk, your based foods, and all other non-animal derived foods, but it excludes meat and eggs. And there are three main reasons for this, right? It's basically the principle of non-violence called ahimsa. It's applied to animals, right? And then the intention to actually offer only vegetarian food to their preferred deity, and then to receive it back as prasad, you know. And also there's also the conviction and non-vegetarian food, which is detrimental for the mind and for the spiritual development, right? A little birdie told me that came in as an anonymous message, says that we should actually not eat meat at all. They believe that we will not go home to the heavens if we eat meat. This is what I've been sent by anonymous. They believe that you should not eat meat, and you won't be sent to the heavens if you do eat meat on this earth, because you will come back, you will be reborn here, you will not go home to the heavens. Thank you, anonymous, for sharing your views and your beliefs with us on our WhatsApp line. We appreciate your comments and your beliefs. Well, I've now been taught something new today. Share with us your views. Novita, Nishi, Devon, if you are still there, interact with us in studio today. What's your thoughts on the beliefs of not eating meat or of eating meat? Share with us during the conversation. Now, as we're continuing with the show, I would love to share with you the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural. As I noticed, we are running over time. I just wanted to share with you that last piece of the lacto-vegetarian diet. There's also lots more to go into. I was hoping to carry this on into another show someday. There's a non-vegetarian diet as well in Hinduism. We are teaching everything in this whole journey of exploring Hinduism. So remember, everything we're educating you on is it's always included and involved in spirituality as we are talking. Okay, so let's jump towards the end of the show as we come to the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. It is time to teach you one lesson from the Tirukkural this evening. Here is a lesson for today, sitting at number 54.
Today's lesson from the 108 principles of the value system from the Tirukkural is number 54. Think and plan before you act.
Pretty straightforward from the Tirukkural this evening. Number 54's lesson today is telling you think and plan before you act. Very, very wise words. Very common ethics, I think. Leaving Hinduism and leaving culture out of this, think and plan before you act. It's very important. All right, for those of you who are in need of a guru and need to perform the following services, please contact Guru Indresan, as he can assist you with the following. The Jandagam, known as the astrological readings, the Panchagam. He can assist you with the Navagraha Shanti, house prayers, business prayers, car prayers, temple and hall weddings, ceremonies like your 16 days and your 1 year, your Janda prayers, your auspicious Hawans, as well as your Kumbha Abhishekams. Please contact Guru Indresan on 081 325 0115. I'll give you the number again. It's 081 325 0115. If you need further services that you do not see on this list, please do contact Guru Prega, as he can assist you with the following. Your astrological readings, your spiritual cleansings, your cleansing prayers, your house prayers, your business prayers, your car prayers, your temple and hall weddings, your funerals, your ceremonies like your 16 days and your 1 year, your auspicious Hawans, help with your trance. And I believe, as I know Guru Prega personally, can assist you with every kind of prayer, like your Kali prayers, your porridge prayers, your midnight prayers, as well as your Murugan prayers, etc. Please contact Guru Prega on 082 578 3833. I'll give you the number again. It's 082 578 3833. Well, as you know, we are a non-profit company as we survive off our sponsors and advertisings. Please take a look at what we have to offer you if you are a business owner.
Get your business to the next level. Advertise on TV. Contact Kimera.
And for those of you who are new subscribers to our channel, welcome. You are now a part of the Actonville TV family. I'd love to introduce to you another show. There's not only the Journey show, the show that you're watching right now. There's also a show early in the morning called the Crack of Dawn show with myself, Kimera, Heeralal, hosting with Papa Nation the building. Robert De Maestro is on a bit of a leave streak for now. He has a bit of a sabbatical and health issues, so he won't be joining us, but there's still lots of fun. We usually have Wackett Simpson's trying to open up the show, but because Wackett Simpson has taken leave and he'll only be coming back in January, you just have Papa Nation, myself, and Auntie Sheila, our favorite stand-up comedian from Durban, helping us and assisting us with our morning show, as it is a variety show and quite interesting. It's fun. Join us in the morning. Positive energies and vibes come through your screens. It's great talk. It's a talk show with Papa Nish and myself. So join us in the morning, as tomorrow we're going to talk about unbelievable but true. From myself, Kimera, Heeralal, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, Sairam, Jai Shri Ram, Swami Saranamayappa. Check this advert out before we cut to our outro. Good night, everyone.
Join us tomorrow morning on the Crack of Dawn. 8 a.m. Streaming across 77 platforms.